PHP can perform a wide range of calculations, from simple arithmetic to trigonometry. In this chapter, we'll look only at basic arithmetic. There are many practical applications for using calculations in a PHP script, such as calculating totals in an online store, or converting units such as Fahrenheit to Celsius or yards to meters. And in programming languages like PHP, it's often important to keep count inside a loop that performs a repeated action. Using PHP to do such calculations is generally straightforward, but there are some peculiarities that might trip you up. In this video, we'll focus on using arithmetic operators. Depending on how you count them, PHP has 6 or 7 arithmetic operators. Minus is used both for negation and for subtraction. Plus should also be instantly recognizable as being for addition. Keyboard limitations result in slightly different symbols being used for multiplication and division. An asterisk performs multiplication, and a / is used for division. These all work exactly the way you would expect. However, the modulus operator, or modulo as it's often called, might not be so familiar. It returns the remainder of a division. The last operator, the exponentiation operator, requires a minimum of PHP 5.6. It raises the value on the left to the power of the value on the right. Let's switch to an editing program to see these operators in action. I've opened 3 files from the Chapter 4 04_01 folder of the exercise files, and in this one, arithmetic_01.php, on line 2, A is defined as 5 and B is defined as 2, and then there's a series of simple calculations using arithmetic operators with A and B. And if we load this into a browser, we see the results. The first one is -5, then this is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Surprisingly, it doesn't matter if you add a space between the minus sign and the variable when making it negative. So here on line 5, if I put my cursor in there and press the spacebar several times, and then save and reload this page in the browser, it's still -5. As long as the expression isn't ambiguous, PHP ignores the white space. Let's try combining multiplication, division, and subtraction in a single calculation. Normal body temperature in degrees Fahrenheit is commonly regarded as 98.6, so let's use PHP to convert that to degrees Celsius. So we'll create a variable for our degrees Fahrenheit and assign 98.6 to that. Then we need another variable for our degrees Celsius, and we'll start the calculation with the degrees Fahrenheit and subtract 32, then divide by 9 and multiply by 5. Then let's display the result using echo, and we'll have our degrees Celsius and concatenate onto that a string which will contain the HTML entity for degrees and an uppercase C. If we save that and reload this page in the browser, we get the wrong result. Now, if you were paying attention at school, you'll know exactly why we've got the wrong result. It's because multiplication and division take precedence over addition and subtraction. So we need to wrap the subtraction in parentheses to perform that part of the calculation first. So here, just before the degrees Fahrenheit, opening parenthesis, and then after 32, that will now give this precedence, and we'll save that, reload the page in the browser, and now get the correct result, which is 37 degrees Celsius. So that works exactly the same as you will have learned at school. What might be unfamiliar from school days is the modulus operator. So let's take a closer look at that in arithmetic_02.php. Again, we've got 5 as A and 2 for B, and we're using ordinary division here. If we load this into the browser, the result is 2.5. But if we change the operator from the ordinary division operator to the modulus operator, which is a percentage sign, save that and reload, this time the result is 1. 2 doesn't divide into 5 an exact number of times. The result is 2 and 1 left over. So 5 modulus 2 produces that remainder of 1. Modulus division can be quite useful. If you use modulus division by 60, you can convert times measured in seconds into minutes and seconds, or minutes into hours and minutes. Another use of modulo division is to find out whether a number is odd or even. When divided by 2, an even number leaves no remainder. So let's say we change this from 5 to 50. Save that. We're now 50 modulus 2. If we reload that into the browser, the answer is 0. So we know that the number is even. Now, we can see the numbers here, but don't forget that PHP is often working with dynamically generated values. So working out whether a number is odd or even can be very useful, and that's a good example of using modulus division. Just a word of caution about the modulus operator. It always converts the values on either side to integers before performing the calculation. Let's just change this from 50 to 5.8, and we'll change b to 2.9. Now, that actually should produce 0, but if we save that and reload it in the browser, the answer is 1. And the reason for that is both of these have been converted to integers first. So this a is converted to 5, b is converted to 2. 2 into 5 is 2 with 1 over, so that's why we get this 1 as the result using that modulus operator. If you're wondering whether PHP has an equivalent operator that ignores the remainder and just returns the whole number of times the value on the left can be divided, the answer is no, but we'll look at integer division later in this chapter. Let's round off our look at arithmetic operators with the exponentiation operator, and there's an example of that here in arithmetic_03.php. Again, a is 5, b is 2, and we're now using the exponentiation operator, which is 2 asterisks next to each other, and if we load this into the browser, the result is 25, so it's 5 squared. Now this will work only in PHP 5.6 or later. If you're using an older version of PHP, you need to use the pow function, which does exactly the same thing. Let's just comment that line out, and then on the next line we'll echo the pow function. And that takes 2 arguments. The first one is a, that's the value that you want to raise, and the second one is the value by which you want to raise it, the power by which you want to raise it. If we save that and reload the page in the browser, it gives us exactly the same result. So using pow in older versions of PHP will do the same as using the exponentiation operator in PHP 5.6 or later. So that's how you use the arithmetic operators in PHP to perform basic calculations. Addition, multiplication, subtraction, and division all work as you would expect. Multiplication and division take precedence over addition and subtraction. So if you mix them in the same calculation, as we did here, you need to wrap in parentheses the part that you need to have calculated first. Modulus division uses the percentage sign as the operator, and it returns the remainder of a division. And the exponentiation operator raises the value on the left to the power of the value on the right, but it's available only in PHP 5.6 or later.